Okay, let's get into how to add some lighting so we can render out this simple scene here. One way to do this is let's make sure we're in modeling mode here. I'm going to go to create, I'm going to go to lights, and one type of light that I'll play around with is directional light. And the only thing this light means is that the direction these arrows are going is the direction that the light is being applied. It doesn't really matter where it's placed. So if I go up here to Arnold and render, I can see now that I have light showing up. Without that light, nothing would be here. So let's look at playing around with the angle of the light. And if I change the angle of the light, I can see now that it reveals more of the cart. Now there's nothing around the cart because there's no other things with materials applied to it. There's nothing in this world here. I can look over here to my attribute editor, make sure this is open, and directional light, and I can change this and make it a little bit more intense, make it really bright. Now I can see more of the tires, which is good, but it might make other things really too bright. So what I can do is go to polygon modeling, add a plane, and expand that. So now I have shadows and lighting. Now this directional light is pretty intense. It is basically it's pretty harsh light. You can see that by the shadows that it creates in the scene here. But that's one type of lighting that you can use and apply to your scene to reveal the things that you want in your render. And then when you would want to save this render, you can go to File, Save Image, choose the location of where you want this to save to, and give it a name, and you can save that. So let's look at another type of lighting here. So I'm going to take this one out, and let's take a look here. My plane is still here. That's fine. I'm going to go to Arnold. I'm going to go to Lights, and I'm going to go to Sky Dome Light. Now, Sky Dome Light kind of creates an evenly kind of real world type lighting situation. Imagine this whole globe, basically, it creates around your scene. Imagine that as just a nice ambient light. Now I can take this intensity and again, I can brighten it and I can make it lower as well. And I think it was set at 1 by default. Another thing you can do with this, which is kind of nice, is that you can apply an image to this background scene as well, and it will take on the lighting of that image. So if I go to color here in the attribute editor, hit that, go to file, and I can locate, using this file folder here, I'll open this up, I can locate a file that has, let me see if I can find one quickly. I feel like I had one down here. It's all alphabetical. This one right here. Let's go with the sky image. And I downloaded this from polyhaven.com, and I'll open this up. And so now you can see it applies that image. It's a wraparound image, 360 view. And notice that the materials, even the standard materials, have properties that will allow this light to react with it. So even though it shows gray here, it obviously takes on the color and the lighting of the actual image. So if this were a nighttime image with maybe some city lights, that same kind of lighting situation would apply here. Now, if you're like, well, I like that. I like the way that it colors and adds light to my objects, but maybe I don't want this scene to show up. Well, you can go, if you click on back here on your Sky Dome Light, or over here in your outliner, and you go to your Sky Dome Light in your attribute editor, you can go down to visibility and turn this down to 0. And now in your render, you can see what happens. It goes away, but the lighting and the effects of that lighting are still applied to the actual render. So that's another way that you can apply this kind of lighting and to your scene so that you can render out your images. And then again, you can go to File, Save Image, and choose the location for that image to save. All right, and that's pretty much it for applying light and creating a simple rendered image view.